All right, welcome everybody. My name is Tyler Garns, and I am the founder and CEO here at Box Out Marketing. Today's webinar is 7 Infusionsoft campaigns you shouldn't be without. So this will be, on the one hand, very, very basic. And on the other hand, I am hoping for you extremely valuable. I'm going to share with you some of the ways that we do things here at Box Out Marketing, some of the systems that we developed to make things much, much easier. And I'm also going to help you understand kind of at a high level, really everything you should be getting out of Infusionsoft. And then I'm going to show you exact campaigns, so you can basically just grab a screenshot. I'll give you access to the slides as well, but grab a screenshot, replicate those campaigns, and jam away so that you can be getting the most out of Infusionsoft. So just a couple of housekeeping items first as we start. Like I said, I want to make this really interactive, so I've got a couple of polls. I'm going to be looking to the comments box or the questions box to interact with you guys as well. So please put in your questions there, and let me know what you're thinking and what you're struggling with and what questions you have, and we'll make this as interactive as possible. Also, like I said, this is being recorded, but that doesn't mean that a recording will be available. We always try and make our webinar recordings available, but just in case the recording fails, I'm not going to promise that. And then also, I'll answer all your questions, ideally throughout, but I can't always catch up or keep up with all of the questions during the webinar. So for sure, by the end, I will get to all of your questions. So a little background on me, if we haven't met yet, and I hope to meet all of you in person. We have Icon coming up here in April. So if you're not registered for Icon, go register for Icon now. Go to attendicon.com. You can use our promo code. So use promo code BOXOUT. It should get you $50 off. And so do that. Definitely come to that event. It is easily the most worthwhile event you'll ever attend throughout the year. So I hope to meet you there. But a little background on me. I was involved in an internet startup in 1999 that was sold to About.com. About.com was then sold to Prime Media. And it was amazing and exciting, all during the internet boom, and then the bubble burst, of course. So we all went our different ways, and I went into pharmaceutical sales for the next 5 years. During that time, Eric Martineau was also at that internet company, and he went with his brother Scott, started Infusionsoft. Clayt joined them later, and then I joined them a few years later as the internet marketing manager at Infusionsoft in 2007. I became the director of marketing and eventually the VP of marketing at Infusionsoft, and I led the team during a period where we took our lead generation from 300 leads a month to 25,000 leads a month. And since then, I've started Box Out Marketing. We're essentially a full-service agency, full-service team to help you implement Infusionsoft and launch your marketing campaigns. Unlike most implementers out there, we develop your strategy, the messaging, the positioning. We write the copy, and we implement it all in Infusionsoft. We do web development as well. We take that holistic approach really to make sure that we help you get results. We've been doing this since 2012 in various different capacities, and our whole purpose is to help you get results, not just fancy campaigns. So here's my family, or my kids at least. It was my 3 sons and our daughter. This was 3 years ago, right when we adopted her. We adopted her in Hawaii, which was an amazing experience and a ton of fun, of course. Here's my wife and I at the Oceanside Harbor here close by. And here's a few pictures of my boys and I surfing. That's kind of what we do as a family, is we surf. We do a lot of it, and it's super fun for me to be able to have that connection with my sons. My 3-year-old daughter now is absolutely a charger. We've taken her to the beach a few times, and she just charges into the water, doesn't care like if she falls over and is drowning or whatnot. So I'm expecting her to get into surfing here very soon as well. Okay, so what we're going to cover in this webinar. First, I'm going to cover why Infusionsoft seems difficult. Hopefully kind of pull back the covers and unveil a couple of things to you that will help you realize why you may struggle with it and what you can do about that struggle. We're going to, of course, go over the 7 essential campaigns. That's why you're here. I'm going to give you real examples of each one. I'm going to show you screenshots of the campaigns. I'm going to show you actual landing pages with the forms and all that kind of stuff. So you can hopefully take away some great ideas and examples for your own business. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to help you or show you how to get your hands on a critical piece of the way. The way is the right way to do things in Infusionsoft as we've defined it. And you'll see pieces of that here. Okay. So let's launch a quick poll. Quick poll here is, what is the hardest part about Infusionsoft for you? So I'm going to launch that poll now here in GoToWebinar. And take a sec. If you've drifted off, you're checking your email or doing something else, refocus, come back, and let's figure out what is the hardest part of Infusionsoft for you guys. What do you struggle with? And it might be something that's other. If it's other, please do me a favor, hop in the questions box and let me know what other means to you. What part of it are you really struggling with? So about 40% of you had voted so far. I'm not going to wait for all of you because I'm sure some of you are already asleep or some of you got distracted. You're off doing something else. But we'll get up to about 75% or so, and then I'm going to go ahead and close the poll, and I'll share the results with you. Again, if these things are easy for you and it's something else that you struggle with, go ahead and comment in the questions box and let me know what that is. Okay, we're about there. I'm going to do a little countdown here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you haven't submitted your answer, you're going to miss out. Go ahead and close the poll now. So here are our results. We've got 39% of you say the campaign builder. That's the number one answer. Number two answer, 18% say designing emails. 14% say, actually I should say 18%, another 18% said other. Let me check the questions box and see what you're dealing with there. Tyler just says using it. Derek says figuring out the logic behind the campaign. So that might fall into campaign builder. Jared says organization. I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about that. That's a big part of the way. And I think some of the simple things I share with you are going to blow you away and help you really be able to tackle that. All right, Pam, converting leads to customers. So that's a great one. I'd say that's not necessarily an Infusionsoft problem. That's just a business problem in general, right? Jamie says strategy. Agreed. Strategy is tough. Again, not necessarily an Infusionsoft problem, but a business and marketing problem. Philip says time. Rich says everything. Rochelle says interface isn't intuitive. Stuart says making cart order forms look good. Jane says getting a helicopter view of Infusionsoft and capabilities. Okay, good. Amy is knowing how to increase the power of Infusionsoft with all the plugins and apps that are available. Jennifer says organization. April says campaign, timers, and triggers. Jennifer says logic flow and thinking through it. Great. So, and then 14% of you said, or 18% said designing emails, 18% said other, 14% said action sets, and 12% said e-commerce setup. Excellent. Those are not exactly the answers I was expecting. So it's very, very interesting. But like I said, some of the things I'm going to share with you today, I think will help with this. Now, the biggest problem that I see with Infusionsoft, and this spans across all these sections. So whether you're in the campaign builder or you're dealing with action sets or you're trying to set up the e-commerce stuff, the biggest problem is there are no rules, right? So if there are no rules, then you're left to just do whatever you want and do it however you want, right? And then you wonder, well, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is there a better way? Hey, so-and-so showed me a different way to do this, or I see that I can do the same thing with an action set, with a note template, with an internal form. Which is the best way, right? And so this idea that there are no rules leaves us on the one hand, with a very powerful tool that is extremely flexible, so we can do really, really, really cool stuff with it once you realize how to bend it and flex it the way you want. But it's also very frustrating when you come in and you're learning because there's so many options and so many different ways to do things. So when you get into the campaign builder, you have this blank screen, right? I mean, it's literally just blank. So if you've ever been a writer or you ever do writing, you know what it's like to feel writer's block, right? You get to the blank page and you're just like, I don't know what to write, right? You might have a big picture idea of what you're trying to achieve, but you don't even know where to start. And that's what happens in the campaign builder. You're just not sure where to start. Then you start throwing stuff onto this blank canvas and you start connecting things, and then decision diamonds pop up and you end up with something like this, and it's total chaos. And you're wondering, did I even do that right? It doesn't feel right. Something just doesn't seem right here. So let me know if that sounds like you, if you've ever had that experience with Infusionsoft. I know I have. When I first started with Infusionsoft, it was in 2007, so a decade ago. And we didn't have the campaign builder back then. It was all connected through action sets, which I promise you was 10 times worse than anything we experienced in the campaign builder. So it was the same problem, though, is it was very flexible. You could do whatever you want. You can connect anything to anything. And it just, it feels a little overwhelming, right? And so what I want to help you understand here is some basic structure. I'm going to give you some rules. That's what the way is all about for us. The way is the right way to implement Infusionsoft, and that right way requires some rules. Okay, so the way first requires that you build campaigns by stage of the perfect customer lifecycle. So if you haven't been introduced to the perfect customer lifecycle idea, the idea is that you have 7 stages in your business. The first is to capture leads. Then you want to indoctrinate those leads. Then you convert and nurture those leads. Then you close your sales. You upsell them. You fulfill on what they bought, and you get referrals. So there's 7 stages to the perfect customer lifecycle. And if you build all of your campaigns to fit in those stages, and then connect those, just like those puzzle pieces, connect them from stage to stage to stage to stage, then it starts to simplify things quite a bit. So now that might feel a little rudimentary. It might feel very basic, and it is. But I promise you, if you haven't done this yet, then you're missing out on a great part of Infusionsoft, which is having a really organized system, an automated system to attract leads and then follow through with them all the way through the customer lifecycle. That's the goal here, right? Is to create an automated experience that captures leads, converts them, creates happy customers. That's the dream that we buy when we buy Infusionsoft. And so you want to create that dream literally with your campaigns. 7 campaigns. Those are the 7 campaigns we're going to talk about today. At least 7 stages of campaigns that fulfill each of those needs in your business. All right, so indoctrination is one that I'd say most people forget. It's kind of the missing piece when I look at a lot of people's Infusionsoft accounts. A lot of people focus on capturing leads and closing sales. That's kind of it. I'm going to capture leads with Infusionsoft. I want to grow my list, and then I want to sell. Those are the 2 areas where people tend to focus when they first get in, but they tend to forget indoctrination. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So this great tool that we have, Infusionsoft, it's very, very powerful. Many would call it the Ferrari of marketing and sales, and I agree. It is the Ferrari of marketing and sales. But here's what they didn't tell you. When you were talking to the Infusionsoft sales rep and they sold you on this dream, what they didn't tell you about this Ferrari is that they were not going to send you a Ferrari all put together. What they were going to send you was a box of Ferrari parts. And then it's up to you to figure out how to put together those parts. And truthfully, the instruction manual may not be complete, or at least there's a lot of pages that say you can do it this way, or you can do it this way, or you can do it this way. And so that's what creates some of the confusion with Infusionsoft. So when you get those parts and you put them all together, you might end up with a car that looks like this. So let me ask you this question. What kind of car are you driving? So you've got Infusionsoft. You have that box of Ferrari parts. What kind of car have you put together? Is it a Yugo? A Pinto? Have you actually configured the Ferrari? Are you driving around a Jeep? Do you have a bicycle with a big 4-wheel drive tire sticking out the side of it? Ray says a skateboard. So Ray's driving around a skateboard. Philip says a monocycle. Jamie says Mario Kart. Awesome. Great responses. So that's typical. That's what we see a lot of when we work with small business owners who are using Infusionsoft. Is they get in, they're excited about it. You start building campaigns, and you're like, okay, I got all these parts. They start putting them together, and it kind of functions, but but most people don't quite get it so that it's racing down the street. It might be hobbling down the street, it might be cruising down the street, okay, but not necessarily racing. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is some of that structure that you can put in place to get you at least the foundation so that you can race down the street. Okay, so let's talk about some of this structure, the way, as we call it, right? So the first thing is that you build your campaigns by stages of the customer lifecycle. I already mentioned this, but our campaigns in our account are literally labeled stage 1, whatever, stage 2, whatever, stage 3, whatever, right? And so these are the stages: lead generation, indoctrination, conversion, sales, fulfillment and reporting, upselling, and referrals. Okay, and so when you go to your list of campaigns in your campaign builder, they should look like this. CCL, by the way, stands for complete customer lifecycle. You don't necessarily need to label them with CCL, but stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, then you know always. And now we have Infusionsoft campaign categories, so you can categorize them with these stages as well. But now, anytime you're looking for something, you ever had the experience where maybe you've got a web form on your website and you need to change something about it, and you go into your Infusionsoft account and you can't find it? Like, oh, where was it? What campaign was it in? I don't know. I don't remember. Was it in Legacy? Right? It can get a little confusing, a little tricky to find things. And so if they're all labeled by stage, you know exactly where it is, right? Oh, this is part of a lead generation campaign, so it's going to be in stage 1. Oh, this is part of my webinar campaign that I use to convert leads to customers, so that must be a stage 3 campaign, right? So very, very easy to organize things. It also keeps your campaigns somewhat concise, so they don't end up blowing up into these big, massive campaigns. The problem with that is if something breaks in a big, massive campaign, then a lot of your business breaks instead of just a little tiny piece. So you don't necessarily want to build your whole business in one campaign, although it's entirely possible to do so. You want to break them up by stage. Okay. And then campaigns should link to each other like the puzzle pieces that I showed you, right? A tag in one campaign triggers the start of the next campaign. So it's literally just like the puzzle pieces. You apply a tag at the end of this one campaign, that triggers the start of another campaign, and you just link them together, campaign after campaign after campaign, to create that ongoing experience for your customers. Okay. Or of course, it's not always going to be a tag. It could be a goal, like a purchase goal or something like that, that could trigger the stopping of one campaign and the starting of another. Now, another major piece of the way is tagging system. You have to have a very process-based, systematic tagging system in order to run Infusionsoft correctly. Now, Infusionsoft didn't tell you this. When you opened up your Infusionsoft account for the first time, it probably had a few dummy tags in there, and they were not organized well. Okay, it's all wrong. I'm telling you now, it's all wrong. I've seen other systems out there that end up being very, very complex and overwhelming in understanding. I'm going to show you a very, very simple way, give you access to some training on this that will help you a ton. Okay. First thing is there are 4 tagging commandments. Okay. No tag should ever be created without a category. Your tags have to be categorized. If they're not, you're going to be screwed. You're especially going to be screwed when you start using third-party tools like, Fix Your Funnel or Dialogger or, whatever. I don't know. There's tons of tools out there, right? Parsy. A lot of these third-party tools don't necessarily pull in the category name when you're searching for a tag. So they have to be categorized, and then you've got to put the category name actually in the name of the tag. Right? Next thing, no tag shall ever be created without following a specific naming convention. So you need a system to name them, or else you're going to be in trouble. Every tag's name shall declare its function. Okay? And I'll add to that, each tag should only have one function. It's easy to duplicate or use one tag for multiple functions, right? You might use a tag to achieve a goal, and then also use that same tag for reporting on how many people did that thing. If you do that, you're going to run into trouble. So you need to separate the functions. Each tag should declare its function and have only one function. And then the tag names, as I mentioned a second ago, shall always start with the category name. And that's mainly for third-party stuff, as well as in Infusionsoft sometimes the category isn't there. Okay. All right. So those are the 4 tagging commandments. And then there's 6 main tag categories that you need. I'm not going to go through all of the training now because that would take the whole webinar, but I'm going to give you access to this whole system so that you guys can go and implement it on your own. So you have trigger tags. These are the ones that achieve goals. You have status tags that tells you temporary status of a person. Are they an active client? Are they a dormant client? Are they on stage 3 of your onboarding process? So that tells you their current status. Activity is what they did. It's a historical record of things they did. Those tags are never removed. Profile tags are also permanent tags, and they tell you who the person is. All right, and then reporting is used only for reporting, no other purpose. And then the last one is temp. Temp is temporary tags. You're going to use them for a short time, and then you go ahead and delete those tags. Okay. All right, Philip is asking if we can have the slide set. Absolutely. When I send out the replay, I'll make sure you guys have access to the slides. Again, though, I'm going to give you access to this whole tag system training. All right. Some optional tag categories: membership tags and email subscription tags. So here's the URL. I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here. Send it to everybody. So there's the link. It's in the questions box. It's in the chat now, or you can write it down or type it in your browser. It's boxoutmarketing.com/infusionsoft-tagging-system. Go there and you can request. You'll get a whole PDF download of the entire system, as well as a webinar recording with full training on this system. I promise you, this is the single most important thing that you can do to start to get your campaign builder activities under control. If your tag naming system is nailed down the way that we teach it to you, I promise the campaign builder, which was like 38% of you said that you were struggling with the campaign builder, whatever that number was, I promise you it will get easier, a lot easier when you have a tag naming system. Now it seems weird. Well, why does the tags affect the campaigns? Well, it does. Just believe me, once you have the tag naming system down, when you go in to build campaigns, you're like, oh, this makes total sense. Okay. All right. Jared says he's not in the chat. So right where you're typing, Jared, the questions box, I think is where that should show up. It might show up in the chat. I don't know. Let me paste it in here too. So now it's in another place. It's in chat and questions. I don't know if those show up separately for you guys, but it shows up separately for me. Okay, so there it is. You can see it now. So there's the link, boxoutmarketing.com/infusionsoft-tagging. Go download that system right now, even at the risk of you leaving the webinar and going and getting distracted with that. You have to have a tag naming system implemented in your Infusionsoft account. Okay, next thing. Structure. We talked about that structure, right? You've got to structure your campaigns by the stages of the customer lifecycle. If you don't, you're going to be creating chaos every time you create a campaign. You'll also create a situation where when you create campaigns and then one of your team members create campaigns and someone else gets in there and creates campaigns, or someone gets fired and then they get replaced, everyone does things differently, and so there's no consistency. So you need this structure. What's great about this structure as well is it is adaptable and changeable, and it's a foundation upon which you can build. So if I build my structure this way, then I can start throwing on a bunch of different lead generation campaigns that all flow into the indoctrination sequence. I can even test out different indoctrination sequences and split test them against each other. I can throw in additional conversion campaigns and test those and try different upsells. And it's a foundation upon which you can bolt on a bunch of different things, and allows you to continue to build and grow your business with Infusionsoft without compromising the structure that you've created. Okay. All right. Another quick poll here. Now that we've talked about that a little bit, I'm going to throw this one up here. What is your primary strength? And I'll throw up some options here. And that is, are you the technician, right? What's your native genius? Are you the technician in your business? So let's just say you work in a doctor's office. Are you the doctor and your skill, your special skill is what you actually do all day, being a doctor? Or are you like the leader / visionary in the business, and your skill is leading the team and being that visionary? Maybe your special skill or your primary strength is marketing. Maybe it's sales. Maybe it's something else. If it's other, let me know in the questions box. Just hop into the questions box and type in what that might be for you. Okay. All right. We got about 50% of you voted so far. Let's get up to about 75% or so, and then we'll move on. So again, if you're not sure what I'm asking here, what's your primary strength? Like if you could just sit down and you're like, I love doing this and I know I'm really, really good at it. Is it doing the technical execution of your business? Like, are you the doctor? Are you the landscaper? Are you the lawyer? Are you the technician that does the skill, right? The product developer. Again, are you the leader or the visionary where that's really your native genius is to lead your team? Or is your native genius in marketing or sales or something else? All right, I'm going to give that about 10 more seconds and then we'll wrap up that poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and close that one up. Okay, so let's look at the answers here. We've got 36% of you say you're the leader or the visionary, and 21% say you're the technician. So that's 57% right there that your native genius is not in marketing or sales, right? All right, 27% of you said marketing, 9% said sales, and 7% said other. And those that said other say copywriting, educational development, and communication. So Alice, I'd say you're the technician, right? But you also said including building campaigns in Infusionsoft. Excellent. Let's see. Sherry says putting parts together. Stacy says all of the above. Yes, she is the master of all. Wink says he's a widely recognized diamond expert, and people come to me when they want the best. Awesome. So you are a phenomenal technician, right? Alice says she's behind the scenes person. Great. So the vast majority of you, your native genius, what you're best at is not necessarily doing the marketing, coming up with the strategy, writing the copy, and implementing it, doing campaign builders. So this is another big reason why Infusionsoft is hard for you. So if your primary strength is not marketing and not campaign building, I'm going to suggest you get some help. Okay. And we can talk about that at the end. I'm not here to sell you anything. I want to show you some of these campaigns first, but just consider that, right? You need to be spending your time on the things that are most effective in your business. Okay. So let's go through some campaign examples. These 7 stages or these 7 campaigns that you have to have in your business. First one, lead generation, of course. So you have to have a solid lead magnet. The copy must be compelling. The value exchange must be favorable for the prospect, or else they're not going to fill out your form. And you want to make sure you don't create dead ends. What's a dead end? Well, a dead end is when someone fills out the form because they really like the idea of your lead magnet, and they land on the thank you page, and the thank you page says, hey, thanks so much for downloading our thing or for requesting our thing. Go check your email to download it. That's a dead end. They expressed interest. I mean, imagine someone comes to your place of business. They walk in the door. They shake your hand. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm really interested in what you have to offer. You hand them a brochure, or actually, you say you get down their mailing address and you say, hey, thanks so much. We'll send that to you in the mail, and you send them out the door. Okay, that's a dead end, right? When they express interest and then we send them away. So we don't want to do that. So this first example for stage 1, I'm going to show you is what we call our progressive lead capture campaign. Progressive lead capture, before you get into the details of what you're looking at on the screen, let me just explain it to you. You fill out the form, and then on the thank you page, it says, hey, would you also like some more information? And then they fill out additional form, and then you send them to another thank you page. It says, hey, would you like to also talk to us? Right? That's an example or an idea. There's many different ways to implement that. But a standard example would be offer a lead magnet, a PDF for white paper or free report, right? And then on the thank you page, hey, we'd like to send you a hard copy of this along with the DVD, some other materials, whatever. Give us your mailing address. On the thank you page, hey, we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you with this in your business. Fill out this consultation form. So that's progressive lead capture. You want to keep people moving forward. So first thing we have here is the form. The form then has a decision diamond where we're routing people around. Now, in this case, all people go into all sequences. There's actually no rules in that decision diamond. Well, why do we do this? Well, the first thing is we need to deliver the free report. And we don't want to deliver the free report in the main sequence, because if they happen to already be in that main sequence and they lost the free report the first time they filled it out and they go back and they fill it out again, they won't get it again. And so we need to separate out that sequence. Okay, I'm not going to go into the rules of why that's the case, but a contact cannot be in a campaign or in a sequence more than once. So if they're already in that sequence that's labeled drive to step 2, then we can't put them in there again. So we have to separate out the delivery of the free report or the lead magnet so they can get it every time they fill out the form. All right. Next, we've got the sequence that drives to step 2. So they're going to land on step 2 immediately. But if they don't fill it out, then we've got some follow-up emails saying, hey, you didn't get your hard copy of this along with the DVD. Why don't you go back and fill out the form, right? So we might try that a couple of times. We've got the form. And then that form, of course, has follow-up driving to step 3, which is, in this case, the consultation or special offer form. And then after that, we have a sequence to deliver the consultation or the special offer. And then we always want to make sure that on these goals, we have selected that anyone can enter or can achieve these goals, not just people in the campaign. It's very easy to set all this up, and then you've got people emailing you say, hey, I fill out your form and nothing's happening. Well, that's because the default on these goals is to have it be only for people in the campaign. So you need to change that and make sure that little man right there with the arrow coming in is always showing so that anyone who fills out the form can achieve the goal. All right, and then the last thing here is when they fill out the form, we have a little delay sequence. After a few days, we're going to start our indoctrination sequence. Okay, so that is the progressive lead capture campaign. Here's an example of this. We just had a big webinar with Infusionsoft last week, and this was the landing page. So we drove traffic to this page for people to register for the webinar. They clicked the little button, claim your spot on the free webinar now. That popped up a light box. They'd fill out the form, and then when they fill out the form, they would land on, well, here's the rest of that page, right? They've got the countdown timer and details about what they're going to learn on the webinar, etc. But when they fill out the form, they landed on this page. And you can see the hand, right? The stop sign. Hey, you're registered, but ... So we want to capture people's attention. We don't want to send them away. We don't want them to go check their email looking for the confirmation email or looking for more information. We want them to stay and read and engage further. So we say, hey, you're registered, but are you ready to get the most out of Infusionsoft? Have you ever wondered when the Infusionsoft magic or why the Infusionsoft magic hasn't happened to you yet? Blah, 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 blah. Complete your webinar registration and request a free strategy session. And if they've clicked that button, then up pops another form where they can give us additional information, phone number, and we ask a couple of questions about the business, and they submit it, and that goes to our sales team. Our sales team is now going to call them because they're a hot lead. Or they could click the link down here. No thanks, I'll pass on a free strategy session and just complete my registration. Okay, so that's an example of two-stepping the opt-in, or as we call it, progressive lead capture. If you continue scrolling down this page, there's more copy and another button, etc. So progressive lead capture, that's what that's all about. Looks like there's a question here from Pam. How do you get their email address? Well, on the first page, when they clicked the button, it popped up a light box that had a form in it. Okay, so that's an Infusionsoft form. Okay, and then Pam's asking, is the deliver free report an email? Yes, in this case it is. You're not always going to communicate with all of your prospects by email, but in this case, yeah, we plan on them filling out a form and getting an email with the free report delivered. Okay, stage 2. Like I said, this is the number one missing puzzle piece that I see in most people's businesses. Most people think they can capture leads and then sell people, right? And you can't make that jump always so fast. So you need to do some indoctrination. This is the process that helps people get to know, like, and trust you. And if they don't know, like, and trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So you want to make sure that you're doing some indoctrination. You also want to make sure you don't make it too long and you don't make it too salesy. This is the dating process. It's a little bit of courting, right? It's get to know each other and feel it out before we go in for a bigger ask. All right. And then you want to use it to establish expertise, authority, and trust. So what does indoctrination look like? Well, it's a super, super simple campaign. This is ours. in our Infusionsoft account, and it's more complex than we make it for most of our clients. So you've got the tag that they that was applied in the stage 1 campaigns, right? So they opted in, they got some follow-up, and then we apply the start indoctrination tag that achieves this goal on the left. Then we remove the trigger tag. That's part of the rules, right, that we've established. We always remove trigger tags. And then we route them. If they've been through indoctrination before, we don't want to send them through it again. And so they get routed out to that top sequence there, where we're going to exclude them from the indoctrination sequence. If they haven't been through it before, then we put them into it. And this is our sequence right here. It has 3 emails in it. Now, I've also got in this one, in email number 2, if they click on it, then I send them a follow-up email. Because we really want to dive into strategy with people. It's one of the things that makes us different than our competitors is we're very strong in the strategy and messaging and copywriting area. And so we want to differentiate ourselves in that way. So if they click, if they show interest in that email that talks about strategy, we're going to give them some more of that. Okay. And then down here, we've got some attribution tracking, basically making it so that when they go through this process, if they request a consultation after email 2, we know and we can track that. If they request a consultation after email 3, we know and we can track that. And so we're tracking attribution there so that we know at what point did they request a consultation, which email is getting them to do that. So here's the first email. So the first email, I think the subject line says something like, here's where to start with Infusionsoft. So our list, our audience is Infusionsoft users. So we're telling them, hey, here's where to start. Here's the best place to learn. Right? And we give them access to a video where I talk through the perfect customer lifecycle and do a quick little education on what the perfect customer lifecycle is, what the complete customer lifecycle is, and what this all means. So you can see the casual nature of the copy as well. I just made this video for you since you're new to Box Out Marketing. In this video, I show you how to follow a simple 2-step process to start getting massive results with Infusionsoft. Check it out here. And then there's a screenshot, of course. And then down below in this video, here's what you're going to learn. Boom, 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 boom. Check out the video here. So very simple email. We get great engagement on that email. All right. Another day later, email number 2, right? And this one, the subject line says the missing piece in Infusionsoft or something like that. Okay, so it says, hi, a few months back, I took my son surfing. So now I'm doing a little bit of relationship building here. Okay, I'm opening up, I'm being vulnerable, I'm sharing a little bit about me and my family. A few months back, I took my son surfing at the same spot where I learned to surf. We left my parents' house, which is about an hour from the beach, and we pulled up to the parking lot. When we pulled up to the parking lot, my boys were completely bummed. I had forgotten the second most important thing. We had our boards, but I had forgotten our wetsuits, and the water was cold. It was a complete letdown. Unfortunately, I see the same thing with Infusionsoft users. You get all hyped up about the possibilities, but then there's a letdown. Sound familiar? It's because there's a major piece missing in Infusionsoft that has nothing to do with the software. Click here to find out what the missing piece is. So you can see I'm using a little bit of storytelling. I'm connecting at a personal level with the audience. And then I'm also creating curiosity by talking about this missing piece, but not saying what it is. So then it's, again, click, and you go to a blog post where we talk about the missing piece. But if they click on this, that tells me that they're interested in really understanding Infusionsoft and what the missing piece is. They're interested in strategy. So then I follow up with this optional email. I noticed you checked out my blog post on strategy, the missing ingredient for Infusionsoft. I made this video for you to show you how to develop powerful automation strategies. I've received more positive feedback about this video than anything else I've ever done. Okay, so again, it's personalized connection because I'm noticing that they did that thing, right? That they checked out the blog post. I made this video for you, and I did. Maybe not for that person individually, but for everybody on whoever clicks it, right? And it's true that I've received really good feedback on that video, and so I'm using that to boost the reason why they need to check it out, okay? All right. The last email is this one where we basically just tell them, hey, here's what we at Box Out Marketing can do for you. We give them a list. Hey, we can help you with lead generation, conversion funnels, workflow automation, membership sites, product launches, workshops and training, etc. Click here, request a free strategy session. Okay, so that's indoctrination. Really basic. It's just a series of emails trying to create that connection and help people understand why they should be even talking to you. All right, next, stage 3 is convert and nurture. So we want to try and convert them. We're going to put an offer out there, and then we need to nurture those people who don't bite on the offer. All right, so you want to present a sales offer or a reason to engage. your offer must be irresistible. If it's not irresistible, then they're not going to take you up on it. Also, don't be quick to discount. A lot of people confuse irresistible with it's got to be super low price. That's not always the case. What you want to do is increase value instead. And we're not going to go into a ton of training on how to do that, but there's a lot of different ways you can do that by bundling in things, adding bonuses. Also, a lot of it just has to do with making sure that your messaging is on point and making sure the value of what you're offering is really explained well, that they understand the benefit that they're going to get out of whatever you're offering. Okay, a lot of different ways to do this. So, stage 3, convert and nurture. There's a bazillion different ways to try and convert people. I'm just going to walk you through a basic webinar campaign because a webinar is a common and easy way to get people engaged and to convert them. Okay, so you've got a start webinar promotion tag goal there, and then you promote that webinar to your internal list, drive them to a form, or you can do a one-click registration as you see down below. And when people fill out the form, they go into the third-party webinar registration sequence. So we have an integration with GoToWebinar, or if you're using Webinar Jam or whatever, your integration is going to happen there. The integrations that we build with our tools, we make sure that when it's successful, it applies a tag. So that's our webinar registration tag there. So we know they automatically flow into the webinar reminders if they have a successful registration. If they don't, then we have a catch-all there. It's going to flow into the webinar reminders anyways. And then when the webinar actually happens, we're going to track whether they attended or did not attend. And then we're going to follow up with them based on their attendance. And then you could have an optional encore presentation, whatnot. And then lastly is if they did what you're offering on the webinar, if they purchased or whatever, then you've got a goal there to pull them out of this campaign and move them on to the next thing if they actually purchased or did what you're asking them to do. Okay, so that's basic structure for a webinar campaign. We build a lot of these. Sometimes the structure changes a little bit depending on different needs, but that's pretty much how they all look. All right, stage 4 is close sales. Okay, so this is either online or offline. It's either you're setting up your shopping cart or your order forms, or it's your sales process. If you're selling over the phone, you might have sales stages where you have new leads come in, then you've got attempting to contact stages, and then you've got negotiating stages and sent the contract, received the contract, closed the deal, lost the deal, etc. That's kind of standard sales pipeline methodology. The key here is to make the sales process as easy as possible. If you're selling online, one of the things we recommend is that you use a tool called Spiffy. Spiffy is awesome. I think you can access them at gospiffy.com, if I remember right. But this is an Infusionsoft order form, and if you've ever used Infusionsoft order forms, you know they don't look that nice. So this is one of our clients, JJ Virgin, recent launch of hers, and within 5 minutes, you can have an Infusionsoft order form looking like this. It's mobile responsive. It looks great. It works on all platforms. It's amazing. So it makes it easier and smoother for the client to check out. If you have distractions, if you've got confusing language, if they're not sure that you're a reputable place to be putting in their credit card, all of those things are things that will turn them away. So you want to make sure that's all as smooth as possible. Okay, stage 5 is fulfillment. So you want to automate everything possible, okay, as much as you possibly can. But at the same time, you've got to keep the experience personalized. So this can be a little bit tricky sometimes. You want to really create a personal connection with your company. So every client or customer of yours needs to feel personally connected to you or your company or someone in your company. This is what we call our assembly line campaign. So many of you will have a situation like this. As soon as someone purchases, you have an assembly line of things that need to happen, right? You've got, Mary needs to call and make a welcome call. As soon as she does that, then Sally's going to put a package in the mail and mail it out. As soon as that happens, Bill needs to contact the client and schedule them for their first consultation. Whatever it might be. I'm just rattling off some things, but you all probably have a series of things that need to happen every time a new customer comes on board. And so what you do is you set it up with these tasks like this. So every time a task is completed, it moves on to the next thing. And you can also have some ancillary sequences that go along with this that alert you if things are taking too long. So if Sally's taken more than 2 days to make the welcome call, then I'm going to get an alert. I want to know, and I want to make sure that people are being held accountable to this stuff. And so it's a very simple assembly storyline campaign. We're actually in the middle of building a process like this for our done-for-you services. So when a client comes and works with us, they'll log into our membership site and they'll be able to see the progress of their project. Every step along the way. So you can see over here on the right, this is the welcome process. They have a get started project timeline thing that we review with them. Hey, here's how you get started. Here's the project timeline, etc. They have a welcome video and a call. So we're going to call them and connect with them personally. And then the next step is we're going to assign you a digital marketing strategist. And once we do that, you're going to see who that person is, and you see a little bio on them, and you have their contact information right there. And then you can see the steps go on and on and on. Later, other people get assigned to your project, right? Your copywriter gets assigned. Your Infusionsoft expert gets assigned. Your web developer gets assigned. And so you have access to all those people right there in the membership site. We're showing you, hey, here's your team. And here are the people working on your project. Not just contact information, but a photo. And they're going to be having calls with these people, et cetera. And so that starts to create that personal connection with our team. Okay. Stage number 6. Actually, Jamie is asking, is that using Memberium? Yes, we're using Memberium, doing all kinds of fancy stuff with Memberium in that particular membership site to manage all that. But yeah, stage 6 is upselling. Okay, there's 3 different types of upsells. In-cart upsells, think Amazon, right? This is when you're in the cart and it says, hey, you're buying, some sticky notes. Wouldn't you also like some pens with that, right? So in-cart upsells. There's one-click upsells, and when done correctly, you should expect about a 30% uptake on this, right? So one-click upsell is when someone purchases, and then on the thank you page, you say, hey, would you also like this? And they just click one button to add that to their order. It actually creates a separate order, but oftentimes you write verbiage like it's adding to the order. It just makes it super easy. You should see 30% plus conversion rate on those, right? And then post-purchase upsells. So that's like after they purchase, you follow up with email or SMS or whatever to offer additional things. And so you definitely want to make sure you're doing this or else you're leaving money on the table. So let's talk through some examples here. The add-on example. There's a few different ways to upsell, right? An add-on example is, would you like fries with that? So you bought sticky notes, would you also like pens? Okay. The next is education, upgrading to done for you. So someone opts in for a lead magnet, right? A free report. And then you sell them on a course that goes with it. All right, great. You got our free report on how to utilize the campaign builder. Now we're going to sell you a course, an online course that's going to educate you on the campaign builder. And then the upsell to that might be, hey, you bought the course, but wouldn't you rather we just do it for you? It'll be much easier and you can focus on what you do best. Okay, that's an example of moving from education to done for you. And then there's upgrade, right? You can upgrade. You just bought a basic membership. If you upgrade to premium right now, we'll give you 4 extra months plus all these bonuses, right? So you upgrade from basic to premium or something like that. So those are some examples you should consider in your business. Okay. All right, Colleen is asking, can we get a recording of this? Like I said at the beginning, Colleen, I always try and record our webinars. I don't always promise that they'll be available because sometimes the recording doesn't work, but we've had good luck lately, so I'm hoping we should be able to get you a recording. Okay. All right, next, stage 7 is get referrals. You don't want to forget this stage, okay? These are free leads. You don't even have to pay for this traffic. All right, existing customers are often your best source of new customers. Why is this? Well, it's because they probably have the same demographic and psychographic profile, right? So I was just talking with my team this morning about one of our client projects. This client is a clinical psychologist that helps parents and their kids when they have kids who have behavioral problems, often due to autism, Asperger's, and some of these other disorders, right? And so she does great work with these clients. And I said to them, now look, a parent, think of a mom who's dealing with a child who she loves the child and is really struggling to help the child be happy and not have behavioral outbreaks all the time. I guarantee that mom has talked to all of her friends, has found other moms dealing with similar things, has found informal or even formal support groups because they're dealing with really tough stuff. And so when that mom finds a great solution to her problem, she's got a lot of friends, right? So this is a great example of how, birds of a feather flock together, right? You find people like you, because either you commiserate with them, or you share ideas, or you collaborate, or whatever. It's just the nature of how we operate in life. We tend to do that, and so you want to make sure you utilize your customers for referrals. And also, referrals come with an endorsement and are easier to close. That indoctrination process happens faster because you get an endorsement by a friend. Okay, so let me show you a quick little campaign that can help you get more referrals. Now, this isn't necessarily customer referrals. This is getting referrals from your leads. Yeah, this is what we call our flywheel campaign, our pay it forward flywheel campaign. So you've got a sequence here to promote it to your existing list. You're offering a lead magnet, so you might want to promote that lead magnet to your existing list. All right, and then there's your form to capture those leads. Now, here's the difference. Instead of a progressive lead capture where we're moving them on to the next thing, on the thank you page, we're telling them, hey, we just gave you this really cool thing. Would you mind paying it forward and sending it to a friend? Okay, so then they're taken, while the lead magnet is being delivered in the background by email, they're taken to another page with a form. And the form says, hey, put your friend's name and email here to send it to them. When they do that, it creates a new contact record for the friend. And then we've got some follow-up there to tell the friend, hey, your friend Bobby just wanted you to have this really cool thing. So click here, and then they're taken to that form. When they're taken to that form, of course, they land on the thank you page as well. And it says, hey, wouldn't you mind paying it forward and forwarding this to a friend? And then they end up back at that form again. So you drive one lead in, and that lead might then create a whole bunch more leads for you. Here's an example. This is a page that we put together. It's not the most perfect example, but it works. So we offered, this was back when the Infusionsoft email builder was really terrible. I actually really liked the new one, but the old one was rough, right? And people had a really hard time designing emails that looked really good. So we offered this 198 images to beautify your Infusionsoft emails, get instant access. When you click that, Lightbox pops up with the form. You put in your name and your email address, and then you land on this thank you page. It says, hey, now that you have access, wouldn't you pay it forward and send this to a friend as a gift, right? Gift the 198 email images to a friend, send your gift. They click on that button, they put in the friend's name and email, and it goes to a friend. Okay, so then all of a sudden we've got another lead from our initial lead. All right, Jared's asking, how do you separate the referrals email from the referee email? Okay, so you have to use the standard name and email and just relabel them. Your friend's name, your friend's email. But that's the standard first name and standard email. And then you use a custom field for the referrer's name. Okay, and if you want to capture the referrer's email, so then you would put your name and your email here. And then that way it's all connected. Okay. All right, and Wendy's asking, isn't it considered spammy to enter a friend's email without them doing it themselves? Well, look, check this out. In this campaign, I'm going to go back here. Whoops, too far. In the campaign itself, this sequence here sends them an email or two and then stops. They're never going to get any follow-up from us unless they opt in themselves. They don't go into Indoctrination. They don't go on our newsletter list, nothing else until they themselves come and fill out this form. So I don't know if you consider it spammy, but I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, we do it all the time, right? On Facebook, we share things and whatever. So if someone gets an email and says, hey, Tyler Garns thought you might like this, no big deal, right? But if you continue to send them other stuff, then I agree it would be totally spammy. Jared's asking, doesn't it pre-populate with the referrals name, email, and name? Yes, it does. We have a little JavaScript that we use to break that and populate it into the correct fields. So good question there. All right, let me click through all these again to get to the next slide. Okay, so consider your customer lifecycle. What does yours look like? Do you have all of these stages? Are they connected, or do you have holes? Right? A lot of people end up with holes or a stage is missing. So you might capture leads and then they just flow, they spill through the holes onto the floor, right? Or you capture leads and you might even convert them and then you sell them and new customers just get neglected, right? And you're not upselling them, and you're not following up, and you're not getting referrals from them. Very, very common. Don't feel bad. It is what it is. And, we want to make sure that we connect all these pieces, that your customer lifecycle is complete, and you don't have holes in your bucket that are spilling opportunity out onto the floor. Okay. Because when you do, you're just burning cash, right? You're just burning opportunity in your business, and we don't want that to happen. So let me ask you a question. I've been talking for a while, so I apologize. We're almost done. Let me just have you refocus here, refocus your attention. If you're off doing something else, this is one of the most important questions you should be asking yourself right now. Where is your time best spent? In your business, there's various different tiers of work. There's $10 per hour work, right? Administrative stuff. There's $100 per hour work, which might be building campaigns, things like that. There's $1,000 per hour work, which might be actually selling your customers. And then $10,000 per hour work, which I'd say is like working on the big ideas of your business. And since most of you said that your native genius is being the leader and the visionary, I would say that your time is best spent on that $10,000 per hour work. Your business is going to become much more valuable as you spend more time in that category, not in the others. So you shouldn't be building your own campaigns. You need to understand what it's all about so that you can direct someone else to do it for you. So how long has it taken to get where you are? If you're trying to do this on your own and you've had Infusionsoft for a while, how long has it taken to get where you are? And if you're not at a place where you want to be, if there are holes in your bucket, if there are gaps in your customer lifecycle, then how long will it take for you to get where you're going, where you want to go? If you're the leader, if you're the visionary, you've got an idea of where you're headed, but how long is it going to take? Okay? We want to help you get there faster. That's our expertise. That's our native genius, is to help you get there faster, like really fast. So we have a few different options to help you do that. Basically, we can any custom options, but we have a few options that are amazing. One is our complete customer lifecycle workshop. You come and you sit down with us for 2 days in a workshop setting, and we build out your entire customer lifecycle. We create that foundation. You leave with that foundation implemented and launched, running in your business. Okay. If you're interested in that, we're actually running a promotion right now, $500 off. It's only $24.97. So it's a screaming deal for 2 days, intense working with our team in a workshop setting to get those campaigns launched. You can go to boxoutmarketing.com/cclworkshop.com. You can see the URL, or sorry, not .com, boxoutmarketing.com/cclworkshop. You can see that URL down at the bottom of the screen. Go there, and you can just request more information. Jeff will give you a call. You also get access to the website that has all of the details, the whole agenda for that workshop. And then the next thing is we can do some of this work for you, of course. So we have our complete customer lifecycle light, which is basically we work with you, we figure out the strategy that you're trying to achieve, and then we build it all in Infusionsoft. You write the copy, you send it to us, we put it all into your campaigns, and we help you launch it. That's normally $6,000, $5,997, right? And then next, we have the complete customer lifecycle done for you, which is basically we do the whole thing. So what we do is we work with you to do some customer research, some competitor research. We develop your entire marketing strategy for these campaigns. We build it all in Infusionsoft. We write all the copy. We create your landing pages. We set it all up and launch it for you. And that is just under $10,000. So if you're interested in either of those, go to boxoutmarketing.com/consult. All right. So now let me open it up to questions. We're right at the end here, and I want to make sure I have addressed any questions that you guys may have had throughout the process, or now that you have at the end here. All right, Stuart's asking, can we get that JavaScript? Yeah, Stuart, just email me directly. It's not something we're going to send out to everybody because it may not make sense for everybody, but I'm happy to send it to you individually. Okay, and you all have my email address. All the emails that you've gotten about the webinar are from my email, my personal email. So just reply back to those and we're good to go. All right. Amandeep is asking, regarding order forms, if you are using it for an event, is there a way to add multiple delegates rather than just the person paying, for example? So you're saying like, I'm paying, but I'm buying 4 tickets and I want to put in the names for those 4 tickets. I'm assuming you're asking something along those lines. If so, yes, it requires some API work. You have to do it kind of post-purchase. We've done this in a few different situations for different clients. All right. Isaac, when would the recording and worksheets be available? So the recording will be available maybe this evening. I have to take off a little bit early tonight, but for sure tomorrow. Okay, so bank on it tomorrow sometime, but you might get it early. All right. Leanne is asking, does this include web pages or landing pages needed? Yes, absolutely. When we do the done for you service, we build the landing pages and everything for you. We don't go design your whole website, and we oftentimes won't get into your main website much. We sometimes we'll do a little bit of work to help you improve lead capture on your main website. But most of what we do is create landing pages and help you drive traffic to those landing pages. Okay. All right, Jonathan, an old friend of mine, is asking how many add-ons do clients usually need to have in implementing your campaigns? For example, SyncSumo. He may have seen the note that is in one of our campaigns there that recommends SyncSumo. You know, it depends, Jonathan. It really depends on the client and how they want to interact with their audience. I would say a good 75 to 80% of the time we're implementing Fix Your Funnel for the SMS capabilities and or the one-click upsell capabilities. Not always are we using SyncSumo. 10% of the time we're using Parsi. Usually it's for the DocuSign integration. Graphly, if people want graphical reports. SyncSumo is a great one for when they're doing Facebook advertising, of course. And now that we're offering ad management services, so we can manage your Facebook account, advertisements, we can manage your Google ads, all that kind of stuff. Now that we're offering that, we're using SyncSumo a little bit more. Those are really the main ones. Memberium, we do a lot with Memberium. That's not necessarily part of the complete customer lifecycle done for you service. Kind of separate from that would be to help you get a membership site set up. But sometimes the fulfillment part of the complete customer lifecycle is, hey, we need to fulfill with a campaign in Memberium, and we can often set that up. So there's various different things, but I'd say, again, 75 to 80% of the time we're using some tool. Usually it's Fix Your Funnel. Might be SyncSumo, Dialogger, Parsi, Memberium, etc. All right, Mary, if the business has many lead magnets, how do you handle the campaign and the CCL done for you? So we usually, in the done for you service, we're creating that foundation, right? We're creating a campaign in each of those stages. If you came and you had 10 different lead magnets, we would probably just charge you a little bit extra for those additional lead magnets. It's not a ton extra to add those different things, because imagine all the time researching your market and your business and all that kind of stuff, writing the copy, building the campaigns, building the landing pages, etc. To add on an additional lead magnet usually isn't a ton of extra work. And that's because now we've got our heads around your business. We can write additional copy. We can throw together an additional landing page pretty quickly. All right. Philip says, thanks, must go. Very informative. Thanks, Philip. Leanne is asking, can you work with Joomla? Yeah, we can work with Joomla. No problem. We, depending on the situation, it depends on like your theme and your setup and whatnot. Depending on the situation, sometimes what we'll do is just create a subdomain and throw WordPress on there and use it just for landing pages, right? And just drive traffic to that. All right. Scott is saying plus 100 for Fix Your Funnel. A big fan of Fix Your Funnel. Yes, as are we. All right, Wendy, I'm interested in your referral campaign that you showed. Can I just buy that from you? Yeah, why don't you just go to boxoutmarketing.com/consult, fill out that form, Wendy. You can talk with Jeff, and Jeff can connect you with that directly for sure. All right, Derek is asking, would the done for you include work similar to what you've done in Memberium? What I showed you in Memberium would not be included. That's pretty advanced stuff that we're doing there. So that would be an add-on. Or if you just need Memberium work and you don't need the done for you service, then you could hire us just for the Memberium portion. You may not need all of the done for you campaigns. You just need some Memberium work done and a little bit of Infusionsoft work to go with it. So we can do that as well. These are 3 options that I put on the screen, but they're not, of course, that's not all we do. We do a lot of custom Memberium builds. We do a lot of custom campaign building, all that kind of stuff. Leanne's asking, when you do the done for you, does it allow us to follow along and learn as you go? Yeah, actually what we do as well is we give you access to a course inside of our membership site that teaches you our entire process and has videos. We'll put videos in there that walk you through how to build and manage each of the campaigns that we build for you. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely a component of that. Our goal is to train our clients so that you can do this on your own. So the done for you is awesome because it gets you up and running fast, but then we do training calls with you at the end, and we want to make sure that you are fully equipped to manage this on your own going forward. It's definitely not our intention to have you pay us forever for this kind of work. All right. Jonathan says, very cool. Looking forward to working with you again. Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. Can't wait to see you again. Hopefully you'll be at Icon. Leanne's asking, can we pay over a few periods? Usually we have upfront payment. We can break it into a couple of payments. So again, what I do is say, fill out the form at boxupmarketing.com/consult, talk with Jeff or one of our team members, and we can work that out with you for sure. All right, Tim, is the setup of add-ons included in the price for the done for you? Yeah, it usually is. For all of the standard campaigns that we'll build, and they're all custom. We work with you to customize every single one of those campaigns. But there are some limits, right? If you came in and you said, "Hey, I would like a custom campaign with 134 emails in it," we'll probably say, "Well, yeah, that's a little bit outside the scope of this project, right? We're going to have to charge you a little extra for that. We're going to have 134 emails, and every single one of them has a link click goal, and that's going to trigger some Memberium membership level or whatever. Obviously, the scope can get way out of control. So we do have some kind of limits on that to keep it within the realm of standard campaigns. If you need anything in addition to that, then we'll just charge you extra. But the standard add-ons, yes. So if you were doing a webinar campaign and you're like, "Hey, I want to use Fix Your Funnel for a reminder SMS," yeah, no problem. We'll implement that for you. Okay. Jared says the best way to work with Joomla is to make it WordPress. I'd have to agree with that. I used to manage Infusionsoft's website, of course, when I was director of marketing there. Before that, I was internet marketing manager, and I was actually like the webmaster. And it was Joomla originally, and it was painful. I like WordPress much better. Leanne says, how do you deal with confidentiality of market insight copy, etc.? Yeah, great question. Our agreement that we send you when you become a client has basically NDA protection on both sides. We will not divulge any information that we learn about your business, about your proprietary information, your intellectual property, any of that kind of stuff. And of course, you're agreeing to do the same. You're going to learn a lot about our business and our process and our systems for implementing. And we're asking you to not share that as well. Mary's asking, does the done for you include membership in the Box Up Marketing site? Yeah, it does. It actually includes access to our Double Your Sales Club. Okay. All right. Wink says, thank you for wonderful information. The appointment coming in. Great. No problem. Jamie has a question. Do you sell your campaigns that we can customize? Yeah, that's kind of what the CCL Lite is. It's not, that's customized campaigns, right? We work with you. We would develop the strategy. We build your campaigns, and then you write the copy. But again, fill out the form, Jamie. Go to boxupmarketing.com/consult. You can talk with Jeff. There may be some other options that we have there. In our Double Your Sales Club, that might be the best way to become a Double Your Sales Club member. As a Double Your Sales Club member, you can get access to some canned campaigns. So they're not custom like you're going to get with these customized services, but you can get some kind of templated campaigns that you can utilize. They're all built according to the way, right? They're built using our system, and they have default copy in them so that you can just go in and tweak. But that's probably the best way to get in there. Our lifetime membership for the Double Your Sales Club is $34.97. You can also pay monthly. It's $197 a month. So there's different options there, but I'd say go ahead and fill out the form at the consult page and you can talk with Jeff. All right, Ray, thank you for the info and inspiration. Yeah, no problem, Ray. Good to have you on here. All right. Isaac, thanks for the compliment. He says your company is so incredibly awesome. Appreciate that. Leanne asking, do you have a good web builder? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Do we have a good web developer like ourselves? Yes, we have a few of them on staff. Or maybe you're talking about like a builder like WordPress and tools that plug into WordPress. I don't know. All right. Jamie's asking about Double Your Sales Club. Do you have a link to that? Yeah, if you go to boxoutmarketing.com/double your sales club, I think, or double your sales, just double your sales. Boxoutmarketing.com/double your sales with dashes in between, double-your-sales. You'll get there. All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thanks so much, everybody, for your attendance and your participation. It's always great when we have a good, engaged group. If you're interested in working with us, we'd love to help you out. Again, these are 3 options on the page, but we do a lot of custom work as well, very competitively. And, of course, when you work with us, you're working with the best. So we'd be happy to work with you and hope to see you all at ICON. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.